Hi, soul friends. Today, let's talk about retrograde and let's talk about surviving retrograde. So, the first thing I want to say is hey, my name is Brandeline Johnson, and I am totally a novice when it comes to astrology, but I do have a little sense about retrograde. I'm going to share what it is and how to survive it. Um, so, what retrograde happens 4 times a year? 4 times. Um, The neat thing is you could decide if it's a bad thing or a good thing. It's probably a great idea for you to come right off the bat and call it a blessing. If you look down on it, it will reciprocate and bite you in the butt. So it's a great idea to know when it's coming and just be prepared for it. And then you'll have a much smoother, approximately a month that it's in. But there's 2 weeks where it's really harsh. So Mercury is a planet, right? And if you're watching this, hopefully you know about astrology and you know what your sign is. And so Mercury is the sign of Gemini, and I'm the Gemini. So, but every 4 months, Mercury slows down and it actually kind of like stops moving. And Mercury is in charge of communication. It's part of the air sign. And so when Mercury goes retrograde, often communication fails. Um, it's not the best time to sign a contract. People get in arguments easier because of that communication. It's not moving forward, it's stopped. Um, Often people in retrograde, it's a good idea to get the travel insurance because there's travel problems. Car troubles happen during retrograde. Um, and electronics go haywire during retrograde. It's not the best idea to buy anything um, that a large purchase. Definitely hold off until retrograde ends. It's not the best idea to start something new during retrograde because what retrograde is, it's a time for you to reflect on what you've done in the last 3 months or where you are now. It's a time for you to basically just become stagnant and finish up anything that you've started and let go of what no longer serves you during this time. Um, One of the ways to survive retrograde is to stay in this present moment. Because in this present moment, everything's okay. Nothing's wrong. You don't have to pay a bill. You're not in an argument. It doesn't matter what's happening outside of you. When you are present in this moment right now, right here, you're not thinking about anything. You're actually being aware. And that's really, honestly, the only time that you're actually truly alive is when you're in this moment. Also, when you do witness something happening outside of your human body, like car troubles or relationship troubles or purchasing large things and they end up not working, you need to take a step back and not react. It's important for us to not react and realize what it is for what it is. It's simply something that's happening because the universe is moving, but retrograde isn't. um, for me, I like to pay my bills up front before retrograde comes because everything does seem to slow down, um, including abundance moving from person to person. So, being in this present moment and then being aware of your reactions when stimulus is presented to you, being aware that these things might be happening just because of retrograde, and being prepared, having those backup travel plans, having an attorney looking over your paperwork if you have to sign a contract. Putting things off until after retrograde is over or making sure they're done before it starts. Also, staying grounded is so important. I have different videos on what grounded is, what it means, and why it's important. But being grounded is almost like creating a shield. It's actually an electronic transfer that happens between you and the earth. Regardless if you're touching the earth, you can do it while you're visualizing. But being grounded will help you stay in that present moment, and it keeps you calm and centered so that you're not reacting to the chaos that's outside of you. So those are just a few tips on how to survive retrograde. Um, and it's okay to feel the way you're feeling. This too shall pass. It's a great idea after retrograde is over. That's when you start something new. And just be aware of it. Don't let it take over your life, though. Don't let it, you knowing that it's coming back in 3 more months, think that in 3 months your life is going to go downhill, because that's not necessarily the case. I believe once you understand what retrograde is and what happens during retrograde and how to handle it and react to it and deal with it energetically, then it could be a beautiful time in your life. Again, I'm not an astrologer, but I can understand astrology now because there's different phases in our planets and our bodies react to it. So this is a phase of the retrograde is a phase of retrospect to reflect on where you're at, where you've been, and finish things that need to be wrapped up. And lastly, if you don't finish things that are wrapped up, those are the things that present themselves to you during retrograde. So don't be angry that something that you've been avoiding is showing back up. It's presenting itself to you for a reason so that you can put it to completion. So stay present, stay grounded, and stay positive. And this too shall pass. So there's how you can survive retrograde.